Oh, it is working. Well, g'day. This is your flat earthian here, providing a video. Yeah. It's fucking late on a Sunday. I know. I'm pissed as a newt. But fucking Wolfie has had a competition, and he wants to see. Haha. Shit. I hope that's not too bright. How the equinox can work on a flat earth. And to do so, what we have to do is turn off a few lights here and start looking at reality, how it exists. So this here is a really poor interpretation. But as you can see, if that was the sun, and that pyramid in the middle there is the North Pole, how the sun going around creates the daylight as it appears on the flat earth. But wait, there's more. He wants to see a freaking equinox. So what we're going to do here, out in the dark, while one hand's holding my camera, is we're going to put a dome over the earth. So now we can see the light is actually doing something slightly different as it travels around the equator every day. See how much of it the world's been lit up every day? But what happens when we lift the light up? As the light goes higher and travels around, different things happen. As it goes down to the south, different things happen again. And this is like the most fucking piss poor example I can possibly show of what's actually happening. Northern summer. Southern summer. It is actually a totally fucking piss poor example. Because, guess what? You won't believe this. You will not believe this, but I know you're going to have to sit down and hold on to your hats for this one. I am not God. And I cannot produce images of things which we are told not to worship images. In the first motherfucking place. And secondly, or is that thirdly? That's a really piss poor image of Earth, I admit. But this does not give a true indication of what the atmosphere or an actual dome over us is actually doing. I mean, it's a fucking cheese platter, for fuck's sake. You expect us to be able to fucking make a working model of the actual reality of the world we live in? This is the fucking world we live in, mate. This is it. That's where I don't sleep. Thank fucking goodness. The world we live in is way more complex than some simple model or image or idol, false idol that you think we should be seeing. Like, you think a spinning ball spinning on its axis. You know, it took this Copernicus guy many, many decades of being locked up inside a fucking monastery type prison for them to convince him to come up with this model that he once proposed, because they liked it. They said, "No, we want you to work on this one." Who is they? Who is they? Who are the Jesuits? Who are the Luciferians? Who are the ones that said, "You work on this model, we're going to lock you up until you do, because we need to convince the whole world that we're an insignificant speck of dust going around a sun, the light bringer, Lucifer." That's all that you wanted to hear. You just wanted to hear, this is the Lucifer rebellion. And you're so concerned now about an equinox, about a sun. I mean, how is that possible on a spinning ball tilted on an axis of 23.4 degrees, or if you look at the other side, 66.6 degrees? How is that possible that a tilted ball always going around the sun can ever have an equinox? It's just not possible. An equinox occurs quite logically over a flat earth where the sun is going around us, and it's going constantly around the equator, the equal meridian point between the North Pole and whatever else is out on the other side that the sun doesn't go that far for us to see. I mean, it's pretty bloody easy to see that our entire world, our entire existence could exist within a snow globe that goes no further than Antarctica. Simply because that's the path the sun takes. It goes north and south through our seasons, but that's easily explained by constantly going around the equator, and as it rises up, it appears to go north. And as it goes down, it appears to go south. And if there's a dome underneath the sun, as we suspect, I don't know if it's even necessary, but there is, because that's how the light bends between us, backwards and forwards throughout the seasons. And when it passes over the equinox, that's as it's in the meridian point. Passes through it twice a year. What does cosmology say? Cosmology says that the sun is furthest away from us on our ecliptic orbit come June 22nd, when it's obviously the furthest north. What do they say in northern hemisphere's winter? It's our summer. The sun goes south, or the birds go south. Everything goes south for the summer, for our summer, your winter, and you globalists, you heliocentrists, you ancient sun worshippers say that the sun dies on the Southern Cross, December 22nd, when it goes as far south as it can, and on the third day it rose again. 22, 23, 24, 25. So on the 25th of December, the Son of God is born again. And then you all get so friggin' joyful. You rush out and tell everybody, and they all get together. And then on the 1st of January, you'll celebrate the New Year. Who celebrates the New Year in the middle of fucking winter? How daft. But then, of course, you have to mix that up with your Ishtar celebration of new life in the springtime as well. And then you celebrate the death of God again on the cross. And so he comes back to life. You know, you can't even get your religious celebrations correct. And this is the fucking psyche that you've pushed upon us all. Upon all human beings living on this flat, stationary plane, as plain as can be, that yeah, we still have Christmas and Easter, public holidays. It's going to be Good Friday. What's good about it again? Why do they call it good? Oh, because that's the day they nailed the Christ to a fucking tree and tried to kill him. Good thing he was a freaking Zen master and, you know, a yogi, and he could slow down his metabolism to the point of appearing to be dead and could talk with the celestials and all the angels of the Mother Earth and call in a big storm so that his disciples are able to say, no, don't break his legs, he's obviously dead. And the guards were too busy, they didn't want to get fucking rained down on for too long, so they let him go. He was a smart man, was Jesus, and he lived for a long time. I'm quite happy to discuss this with anybody, because if anybody knows, in fact, this is one of the things I wanted to talk quite a lot about. I can explain any single one of the so-called miracles that Jesus did. And I'll explain as many as I can until I run out of time. Good, I've still got plenty of time here. Number 1, Jesus walked on water. Nope. But assume that I wrote a text about a man back in the day when mankind was shit scared of water. Because what happened whenever somebody fell into water, especially in the ocean, because these were primitive times and, you know, not being able to swim wasn't actually a thing. But if you jump in the water now and you just calmly relax and even float on your back a little bit, or just move your arms and legs around, what you will do is you will do something called tread water. Now, what does tread mean? Tread means to walk on. So you can see how over many, many translations, the ability to tread water could quite easily be mistranslated into treading on water. But no, all it was when Jesus fell in the water and he didn't panic, he didn't act like a little girl, like all the other little girls in the boat. And then he says to, I think it was Peter, he says, if you jump in the water and relax, you too can tread water and you won't drown. And so he tried it and it's like, oh, yeah, fucking oath, this is alright. We don't actually have to drown, even though when we panic, we create the right conditions for us to drown. So that's number 1, mystery explained. Number 2, how about healing a blind man? So a blind man comes up to Jesus and Jesus isn't stupid. He can see this man's got fucking cataracts. And he even says, there will be the day will come when all men will come to do as I have done and more. And instead, he doesn't have fucking lasers. All he's got is, alright, let's look at this fine silty ground here. How about, I'll make a paste out of this, and it will act like a bit of a sandpaper, and I can rub it in his eyes and grind out his cataracts, and then I'll go and tell him to go and wash it out in the river, and then suddenly he'll be able to see again. Oh, a fucking miracle! No, it's just fucking crude, crude laser eye surgery, which we've come a long way since. What about healing Lazarus from the dead? Lazarus. Jesus even said he wasn't dead. He was just sleeping. The man was in a fucking coma. Okay, so again, you've got Jesus admitting he's done nothing other than wake the man up. I mean, he might have done as much as putting smelling salts up his nose, or he might have done some really good massage, and actually, sometimes when people are asleep, you can call them back from the other side too. I'm not saying he's not completely unmiraculous, and I'm not saying that's completely miraculous either. There's a lot of things we can do to do with things that we don't necessarily understand, but it doesn't make them miracles. That's just a few of the most simple examples I can think of. If you can think of another miracle that Jesus performed, there is one. What is it? The loaves and the fishes of feeding a lot of people. I will grant you, that's not necessarily one that I'm able to give a simple answer to. But I have seen a lot of what would you call it? I hate to use the word demonic, but it's probably the best word. But there are people who are able to tap into demonic forces, or it's hard to find the right word again, because they're not forces, they're helpers. There are helpers, and an enlightened person can tap into them and create events for the overall good of the people. Most of the ones we see today, though, they're done by these charlatans on YouTube and whatnot, and I don't know, if they're doing it for money, it's considered not such a good thing. Have we seen a single example of Jesus performing a miracle for money? Did he heal anybody for money? Did he make a profit out of what he did? I've yet to see a single example of him actually doing that. So I think it's fair to say that these demonic magicians doing it for money, they're kind of, in a way, selling their soul. Now with Jesus, okay, this is an interesting point. Was he selling his soul? I have to admit, I'm not yay or nay on that, one way or the next. But there is this concept that he sacrificed his life, like willingly gave up his life, on the condition that he wasn't actually giving up his life. That if it looked as though it was inevitable that he would die, there would be divine intervention. Which, whether that be quote, 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 triple quote, double quote, and all over quote again, God, or the angelic host, the fleet of saviors, the aliens, the seeders of the planet, the plane, whoever it was that's supposed to have created life here on Earth, would intervene and cut out all evil, so that therefore they would save him and us. And yet while he's hanging on the cross, he says, my God, why have you forsaken me? It's like, because pretty much he knew, or he was convinced, to allow this to happen, because that will bring in the divine intervention. And so, yeah, all you gotta do, like, they're gonna look after you, man. You're the Son of God. You know, we can't lose. It's a win-win situation. Get yourself crucified, you know, have yourself flogged to near death. Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry. They will come in and save you at the last minute. The gods will do that. And then Jesus is there dying. My God, why have you forsaken me? The only one that can save you is yourself. There is no Jesus. There is no God. All there is beer. God has never done that for me. My God, why have you forsaken me? You haven't. You live in me, and I live in you. That's right. You're wondering about the eye that you cannot see above the pyramid? That is I. You think I'm the devil? No. I'm not lived backwards. I'm lived forwards. I am the truth. I am the way, the truth, and the life. And thou shalt not have false gods before me. Yes, I do have to laugh at that. Laugh demonically, mind you, because for fuck's sake, there is nothing left to live for. Heaven is a very beautiful, peaceful place. But this Matrix is kind of fun. It is kind of fun. I think I might have skipped a few too many chapters in my period of evolution to reach this stage. So all I can say is Don't wake up. Go back to sleep. Enjoy the dream. Enjoy the dream more. Life is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. Knowledge shocks the fuck out of you and you just go insane. Somebody shut this man up quickly before my fucking head explodes. Ah, yeah. It's a good thing I make good beer. In fact, I've got to go bottle some more, so I won't talk for much longer. I will just tell you right here, right now, that you are fucking awesome. Because you exist. Jesus loves you. Meanwhile, in the real world,